Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live with the Roxy. Words I haven't said in a couple of weeks. Is it? I don't know. You guys tell me. You know better than I do when I was here last. There's this thing called YouTube where we could just check, but did I? No, I didn't. What's going on with you guys? Happy Sunday, November 10th. This is for prosperity reasons. This is the Sunday post-election. There's been a lot going on in my personal life. There has been even more going on in this country, and there's been even more going on in the world. So I'm assuming you guys have probably had one hell of a last couple of weeks. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. I have so many things to fill you guys in on. There's things from career, there's stuff from personal life, there's, of course, politics, there is entertainment, there is a lot. I have to tell you, I'm doing this without having seen the final episode of Penguin. I know that's extremely risky. If you ruin Penguin for me, you will be banned from my life forever. Dramatic, I know. But I wanted to, I just got home from work. I was about to, which I'll tell you guys about. I was about to start my watching for the night because my entire place is a mess. I don't know if you guys get like me, but when you, especially for those of you who like to really get ready, mostly the she's, the theys, and the gays, you know what I mean. We're taking a long time. My shit is everywhere. My makeup's all over the place. My jackets are all over the floor. My bed is unmade, and you guys know I hate that. Everything is everywhere. So I was going to do a cleaning session while watching probably a not as intensive show that I need to pay attention to. So I was thinking, I think I have an episode of Shark Tank. I need to, whatever. And then I was going to do Penguin. But I was like, first, I haven't caught up with my people in a while. I've been, of course, all over the other place. I've been doing Christian Arloff's show every single Tuesday. I've been doing DJ Woldridge's show. DJ Woldridge's show. It's hard to say DJ Woldridge is on Fridays. I've been doing World Girls on Wednesdays, me and Steph's channel. I've been doing Real Rejects twice a week at least. It's not like I've taken a break from filming. I am nonstop filming, and I'll tell you guys about some more things too, but I have not been here. And you're my people. You're the rock stars. This is us. So I was like, all right, let's go chat with the rock stars. Let's see what's going on, see how the people are doing, and let's talk a little bit about life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I'm on the journey. I currently have my hair and my makeup done. Well, my hair's not really done. I kind of threw it up, but my makeup's still looking cute because I was at a baby shower today, and then afterwards I went and met up with Steph so we could work for a few hours or a couple hours. And before that, I was with Grammy today. Let's actually rewind even further. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe if you have not already. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Why is that important? Well, it's easier to just super chat. This I know. You guys are already on this page. You could just click super chat, which I would really appreciate. Thank you so much. But as we know, the man being YouTube whispered so they can't hear you, they take about 30%. Really, end of year, it ends up being 50%. So if you want more of the money to go directly towards the artists, the creators, to make sure that you're using Streamlabs, you just type in streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. It's really easy. Very simple, and it is money that goes directly to the creator, which in this case is Euro Rocks. So if you want to support the show, have me here as often as possible, have things you want read out loud, things that are going on in your life, questions, Dear Roxy segment, whatever it is, then let me know in the Streamlabs. Tell me how it is going for you. I haven't been with you guys since we have a new president-elect. Sir President Donald, Donnie Don the big D, little D Don. I don't know the size of his D, luckily. Thank goodness. I am smiling and laughing all week because it is significantly better than screaming and crying. I felt defeated for about 30 seconds. Now I feel reinvigorated, tired, but ready. And I'm in strategy mode about a lot of different things in life. So we can talk about that. Wow, the last time I was here, it looks like it was weeks ago. You guys tell me. We do have one Streamlab from the day so far. So thank you for getting us started. My guy, Lloyd Nance, imprinted on Roxy, says, Team Stryer, you're very pretty today. Thank you so much. I would like to think that somewhere in my soul I'm pretty all the days, but maybe just today, and I will take that. I did do a really good job on my eyes today. Jess Lucero gave me a new eye palette, which I'm really grateful for because eye palettes are like $50. So thank you to my girlfriends for hooking it up when they can. What has happened since I saw you guys last? Well, I saw Gladiator 2. I'm going to be able to talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to put out a video on my social. And next time I'm here, I can answer more questions about that. One thing I will say about that is, without talking about the screening, because I'm not allowed to speak about it till tomorrow, is that the movie doesn't come out, I believe, until November 22nd. So one thing behind the scenes to know about movies that have press screenings multiple weeks in advance is that the studios clearly feel very confident in those movies. If you have a press week, if you have a press screening, and my press screening was 3 massive screenings, usually it's one theater, this was 3 theaters for a movie, and we had it this past week. So multiple weeks in advance, you guys feel confident. Should they feel confident? I'll answer that question tomorrow. But I saw Gladiator 2. More importantly, for things that I can talk about, last night I saw Los Frikis. By a show of people in the chat, yes or no, have you heard of the movie Los Frikis? Losfrikis, Los Frikis. Have you heard of this movie? If you have heard of the movie, congratulations. You are unfortunately in the minority right now. If you haven't heard of this movie, I got you. I'm about to bless your ears. We will get to it when I talk about everything in order of events, but please stay tuned to hear about Los Frikis because this should be something that's on your radar if it's not. Okay, let's rewind. Let's take it one step at a time, day by day, moment by moment, lifetime by lifetime. You guys Streamlabs in. That will keep me here and floating. Let's start a week ago with daylight savings. Let's go back to daylight savings. I have a bone to pick with daylight savings. We got to talk about daylight savings. We don't talk about daylight savings enough. Here's what I have to tell you guys about daylight savings. Enough. Basta. Done. You guys brought me to the polls years ago. It was so many years ago that I believe I was still living with my ex-boyfriend. So we're talking years ago. My butt came out to the polls. This was not a presidential election year. My butt came out to the polls to vote for daylight savings elimination of clocks. I voted against the clock situation. We won in California. We won that shit. It was overwhelmingly like we got to stay on the same time all year long. Why we do this stuff. Farming is not the number one profession anymore. And we don't need it. No, not that we don't need farming. We don't need the clocks to go back. You better believe that they were like, oh, yeah, did we put it on the ballot? Of course we did. Did you guys say that you don't want it anymore? Yes, you did. Are we going to listen? Meh. Afterwards, they were like, it messes up the future calendar. Things are already planned years down the line. We'll bring it back up in 2028. Bring back up to who, how, what, where. So, okay, clocks went back. Just bone to pick with that. Why we be doing that still? That's kind of that feels like the theme of the week. Why do we keep doing things because we've always done them instead of doing new things that work for us today? Why do we keep doing things? Because we've always done them instead of doing new things that work for us today. Hey, that's the question. Do you have an answer for me? Doubt it. I doubt it. Because there's not one. We need to progress. Theme of the week. Must learn to progress. This is kind of relevant to the whole week because, of course, this was an election week, but also with my personal week as well, doing things in our own life that no longer work or feel relevant. So let's talk about Monday, the day after daylight savings, with Grammy and Papo on Monday. Then I went to work. I had a Real Rejects shoot day. I watched The Substance with Greg. You guys will be seeing that soon. You can get my reaction to that. Then we had an entire Real Rejects everybody meeting, mandatory all hosts meeting, just to figure out scheduling for the next few months and what it is that we're going to be watching. And that's when I learned that because I'm going out of town for Thanksgiving, we kind of figured out what the next 2 weeks look like. So I am at Real Rejects nonstop the next 2 weeks until I leave. It's going to be a lot of Real Rejects filming. So I was there Monday. On Tuesday, I did Christian Harloff's show, went back to Real Rejects and did a new franchise. I'm starting with Tara. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but so excited for you guys to see this. This movie was one of the greatest movies of all time, and it's amazing. So that will be happening. And then, of course, Tuesday was election day. So I was watching this movie, this epic movie, and then got out of it, talked to Grammy. Grammy was already stressing. I stayed up until 4 a.m, like many of you guys did, just for the official announcement. But by the time I got off of work at 7, it looked extremely clear that Donald Trump was going to be our president elect. We did an episode of World Girls on Wednesday. So if you want to hear me and Steph just really kind of have our vomit thoughts on the whole thing, you can check that out. But in general, if you watch the show or you paid attention to me or my political beliefs throughout the 14 years I've been live, and it is absolutely no surprise to anybody that I voted for Kamala Harris. I did find it surprising how many people were surprised by that on the internet. I know that everybody's vote is private, and I believe in that, of course, because especially for situations that might be dangerous for certain people to reveal what their votes are. But I do think that it is kind of funny when you are a public figure and you're just unwilling to clearly state what you did. Like we have a lot of people that we follow. I follow people that I've worked with, people that you guys have seen in the uh, movie sphere space or whatever, and they just don't want to publicly endorse anybody. And that is absolutely their prerogative. But I do think it's a little interesting because the lines are so blurred between entertainment and politics these days anyway. And I'm just a very, very open person. I feel like the things are intertwined. I think my art and my politics are very aligned and intertwined. And if you want to know about my opinions on movies and things and perspectives, and when I'm a creator and what I pull from as a performer, then I do feel like, I don't know, I'm not ashamed of my political beliefs. And if somebody doesn't want to follow me because of my politics, that's totally their prerogative too. And I did get a lot of heat for talking about who I voted for. Uh, but it's just who I am. So it's so interesting that a lot of my followers on Instagram or people in my DMs, or even here, messages from previous videos that were like shocked to see what a shill Roxy is, what a left wing shill Roxy is, whatever. You guys, if you're in here live for the November 10th show right now, it's Sunday at 8:20 p.m. Is there a single one of you guys who did not know who I was going to vote for? Any of you? Any of you were surprised to hear that I voted for Kamala? Any of you guys are like, oh, what? No way. Shocked. I did also put out a couple of messages to online about, after fair and square, or whatever you want to call it, the Democrats lost the election. Saying that I'm really hopeful that all of the people who voted for Trump, who have said that just because you vote for Trump doesn't mean that you are X, Y, and Z bigot. I'm hopeful that a lot of them were one issue voters and voted for certain things, but they are not certain people. It's really hard to try to see certain perspectives, but I'm trying because we have no choice. We have no choice but to feel hopeful. We have no choice but to feel ready to fight, because the other option is rolling over and dying. So we're not going to do that. Yeah, so Tuesday was a strange day. Wednesday was even weirder in the world, looking around like, what? I woke up and I had therapy Wednesday morning, and I was so grateful to start my Wednesday morning with therapy. Definitely set the tone for the rest of the week. I use BetterHelp. That's not a ad, just letting you guys know. I think that my therapist there has been amazing. And I started the session and I said to her, what do I do? And she was like, what do you mean, what do you do? Exactly what you always do. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, keep it pushing. And I am pretty good at that. So that is exactly what I intend to do and what I have been doing all week. So then from there, I went and took Grammy to a doctor appointment. For Grammy, what we are dealing with some medical issues. So that's going to take precedent over my life for the next month or so. Although I am going home during that time, which I'll talk about soon too, as I am planning a baby shower for my sister-in-law and brother. It's really not for my brother though, because I don't even know if he's coming, but he's going to show up at the end. But yeah, I took Grammy to this appointment. And then let's see, in my calendar, from 8 to 9 p.m., it says rocks. Oh, and then I had a meeting with my manager. That's his calendar invite that says rocks. And then Thursday was another Real Rejects Day. I also spent the entire morning on the phone with the VA. We're fighting with them per usual to get a new medical device for Papo. I literally finally, after 2 months of trying, got a conference call from 4 doctors from the VA at once. And this doctor was so wonderful. And he picked up and he was like, your grandfather is a World War II veteran, I'm guessing. I said, yeah. And he said, we don't have many of them left. I said, yeah, I would figure not. He lied about his age at 17 and enlisted, and he's 99 today, and he was in the war towards the end of the war. So I would have to imagine you don't have many people older than him, and nobody younger than him would have been in World War II. And he was like, what an absolute hero. I'm looking at him. What an absolute hero he is. I want to do everything I can to help. What is it that you're looking for and what can we do? And I legitimately just started crying because it is so difficult dealing with the VA 90% of the time. And it is so difficult dealing with people around the world, around the country, around Los Angeles with the elderly. I think, I didn't tell you guys on what happened on Monday with Grammy, where she got $2,200 stolen from her from a scam, which I'll talk about. But so I just started crying and I was like, thank you for giving a shit about my grandfather. It feels like nobody does ever. And all I do is fight with people all day long, hours and hours a day. It is a full-time job. So hopefully that will work out. And then Friday, I did Only Stupid Answers with DJ. Then I had my writing session with Steph. And Friday night, I went with my girlfriends to grab a burger. On Saturday, I went to the screening of Los Freakies. That brings us to Los Freakies, which I'll talk about momentarily. You guys talk to me, streamlabs.com/Roxy super chat in. How has your week been? What is it that's going on with you? You guys are talking about some of the deaths that happened this week in pop culture. Oof, man. People, they say people die in threes, and we've gotten a few big ones recently. Mike Joyce in the Streamlab says, you should check out Thelma being released on Hulu on Friday. It's about a grandma that gets scammed out of her savings and goes on a revenge mission against her scammer. It's a great movie. I think you and Grammy would like. Is it a horror movie? Grammy hates horror, but let me know. Or is it a comedy? Mike also said, I was feeling glum about people in this country over the election until it was pointed out to me that most incumbents lost elections since COVID largely because of their dissatisfaction with inflation. At least Democrats and other races did well. Not really. Democrats and other races didn't really do well. That's why we lost the Senate. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you feel worse, but more of a comedy. But is it horror at all? She hates any kind of horror in a movie. Any horror. Hates it. But I certainly will watch it. Trying a new tea right now. Yum. But it's like a lavender. Oh, that's so good. I've been doing Republic of Tea. You guys ever do Republic of Tea? It's an excellent tea brand that doesn't use any plastic in their bags. So many tea companies do use plastic in their bags, and they come in these metal tubes with 33 different individual ones. Pretty good price point for tea, and they have so many incredible kinds of tea. Oh, that is so good. I have to get the name for you guys. But I've been doing, my favorite of theirs has been their black tea, vanilla almond. It is mwah. If you are looking for a nice, fun black tea in the mornings, I just think it is absolutely divine. We do not use the word divine enough. We should be out here using the word divine more often. Bring back divine. RQMDSMD in the Streamlabs with that big ass support. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you. He said, love how you take care of your grandparents. Just sending some support. Thank you so much. Talked about this on the World Girls, but Grammy was scammed out of $2,200 by this carpet company this week. And I actually am ready to wring their necks. Anybody who scams a 97 and 99-year-old out of money that they don't have, there's a special place in hell for you. I don't care. Like, you know how there's certain things where you can, when people do it, you're like, okay, I could see myself doing like something like that. Like in Aladdin, for example, Aladdin is starving and he steals a loaf of bread. Which of us wouldn't, if you were starving, steal a loaf of bread? Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you would rather die than do that. But something I would rather die than do, and that is not hyperbolic language, I would rather die than steal a person in their late 90s money who doesn't have enough money to live. I would rather die. Put me in the ground, because who I would have to be at that point to steal from a 97-year-old, put me in the fucking ground, because then I'm already dead, because who I am is so evil. Fucking horrible, and I'm trying to fight it. It's brutal. Ugh. What's wrong with people? What's fucking wrong with people? If anybody knows how to, if there's somebody who will pro bono sue for elderly abuse or what, I mean, it's horrible, 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 horrible. I know that $2,200 isn't a lot of money to a lot of people, but it's everything. So it's not just about going after them. Like, I need the money back. I need the money. So it's not like to shame them. It's to get I need the money. and they know where she lives. So it's not just like releasing their information because they could release ours. We need the money. So what essentially happened was she Googled um, Stanley steamers, which is what she uses for carpet cleaning always. There was a paid sponsorship that came up first, but it was stainless steamers. She called them. They picked up. She said, "Is this Stanley steamers?" They said, "Yes, it is." It was not. She said, "Okay, just checking your prices. How much is it to get all of my carpets cleaned? I have 14 steps. I have 14 steps, 3 bedrooms." And they said, "It is 199 for the house plus $2 every step." So it was going to be like 230. Then she also asked me for if I could give her um $30 for tip. So I gave her 40 because I figured we'd leave a nice tip. So all things in total was going to be under $300. So I got to her house, I gave her the $40. And then I go to work at Real Rejects. When I get back, she is in shambles. She was fucking crying. And I guess they were like, "Oh, do you want us to do this room?" And she was like, "Yeah." "Oh, this room?" "Yeah." And then they were like, "Oh, that'll be $2,200. And I had a caretaker who was with them, and the caretaker was like, "Maybe we should not do this." Like, but they had already done everything too. And Grammy was saying that the men that were there were making her so uncomfortable. She said they were really like freaking her out, and she was scared. And she ended up fucking, I don't know exactly whether they had already had her card information beforehand because she had to put like a deposit, whatever, but they charged her $2,200. Um, when I got there, she was distraught. I was like, "What the fuck?" Her floors were not clean. The floors were not clean. The carpets are disgusting and a mess. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And she was like, "No, they cleaned it, but they charged me more than I thought they would." And then I saw the thing and I was like, "What the fuck?" And so I looked up, I said, "Give me the number that you called." And I looked up the number, and it's not Stanley steamer, it's stainless. And they have 51-star reviews. They have 1 star on Yelp, and it's all people saying, "My 80-year-old grandma got scammed by this company. They said that it would be this price. They claimed they were Stanley steamers." 50 reviews that all say that. And every company was like, they pretend that they're power washing your floors, but they're not. They're literally just pushing around water. They didn't, I mean, it's all fake equipment. Like literally, they just like drenched the floors. Disgusting. And it's like I only have so much time on my hands. And I'm trying to deal with everything, but I am already fighting for his medical devices, taking her in for her possible surgery that we have scheduled. I'm at 5 doctor appointments at least, or on the phone or FaceTime, bare minimum. I don't never have my time to do it for myself. I'm nonstop fucking filming and working, as you guys know. So it's like, which fight should I fight? Um, and nobody, I can only do what I can do. So I'm trying. And I'm trying. It's just really, really difficult. So anyway, Streamlabs in, super chat in, questions, comments, concerns, what's going on in your life. Appreciate you, RQMDSMD. Appreciate you, Mike Joyce. Appreciate you, Lloyd Nance, for being our 3 Streamlabsers of the day so far. You guys are, and appreciate so many other people too, just for being here with me on this Sunday night. All right, y'all. You want to talk about Los Freakies? Let's talk about Los Freakies. And if you don't know about Los Freakies, you are in for it right now because Mwah. So let's rewind. The year is, I don't know, maybe 2018. You guys tell me. And for some reason, I end up going to see a little movie called Peanut Butter Falcon. I see it before anybody I know. I don't even remember how and why I initially got to see Peanut Butter Falcon, but I was like one of the first people to see it. Maybe I was screening more movies at that time because I was getting invites for more indie films because I was at Collider and Screen Junkies. Whatever it is, I went to see Peanut Butter Falcon. And you guys know, if you've been following me for a long time, that I absolutely fell in love with that movie. I was on this channel, I was here, I was live, and I was doing like one of my bedroom reviews, and I'm pretty sure there was like something on my foot and I was itching at my foot, and all of a sudden I started talking and I'm like, I love this movie Peanut Butter Falcon. And in my chat comes somebody named Tyler, and Tyler was like, oh my god, that's so great, I'm so happy that you loved my movie. And I was like, your movie, who the fuck are you? And come to find out, he's one half of the duo Tyler and Michael, the who wrote and directed Peanut Butter Falcon. So I was like, Tyler, do you want to come on my show? And Tyler was like, yeah, for sure, dude. And I was like, what? So then I brought Tyler into Collider. I brought Tyler and Michael. I brought Tyler and Michael, I believe, on the Tomorrow Show. I like did a whole little podcast tour for them because I was like, everybody needs to see this movie. And it is so incredible. And I want everybody, such a beautiful movie from these filmmakers who I didn't know previously. And that was their big film, their coming out film. And I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. So we've stayed in touch throughout the years. I actually called them to talk about a project that I was working on a little bit ago, and we've stayed in touch. I just really like Tyler and Michael. They're really nice, cool, normal, awesome dudes. So then I was invited this past week, or a couple weeks ago, for this upcoming week to go see a movie called Los Frikis. I knew immediately what it was because I had talked to Tyler on the phone maybe 2 months ago. Tyler told me that his movie Los Frikis was going to be coming out. So the second I got the invite, I was like, fuck yeah, 100%. Of course I'll be seeing this. I didn't look it up. I didn't know who was in it. I did not know a single thing except for that this was going to be Tyler and Michael's next movie. And I was definitely going to be seeing it because they won me over with Peanut Butter Falcon. We're friendly. And I really wanted to check out whatever their sophomore movie was. So I didn't see anything going into this. 2 days ago, I got a text message, or 2 days before, I get a text message from Tyler, and it's like, yo, I see that you're on the invite list for this movie. Are you coming? And I was like, 100% I will be there. Absolutely. I got you. So they held the movie screening, and it wasn't just a screening. It was not a press screening. It was like, it seemed like a family and friends kind of screening. It was at CAA, and it was a screening and a Q&A and a reception. So it felt more like a mini premiere, even though it's already done a little bit of the festival circuit. So right beforehand, the guys in front of me turn around to me. First of all, like the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my entire life is sitting right in front of me. And he turns around to me, and he was like, have you seen any of this movie? And I said, no, have you? And he said, oh yeah, I saw a little bit early on. And I said, oh, is it good? And he said, oh my God. And I was like, oh, good. Is it fun? Like fun or whatever I asked? And he was like, do you know the story? I was like, no, I literally didn't even Google it. I know not one thing about the movie. And so he starts to tell me a little bit about the movie, which I'll tell you guys about in a minute. And of course, no, I won't give anything away about the movie, but just what the movie's about. But then he's interrupted, like he's no longer able to speak to me because the lights go down and then they come up, and Andy Garcia is there to introduce the movie. And I was like, what? what are we about to watch? So he's like, this movie is so incredibly near and dear to my heart. And then he starts crying. He's like, it's so difficult for me to even get through this. But thank you guys for being here. And we'll talk afterwards. So let me tell you guys a little bit about this movie. And then let me tell you guys a little bit how you're going to be able to see it. And I just want to state abundantly clearly, I have nothing to do with this movie. You're about to see me doing a ton of press for this movie because this is the kind of movie that I desperately want people to see, but I have nothing to do with this movie and I don't need to be talking about this movie. It also doesn't move the needle for me at all to talk about this movie because this is a foreign language indie movie that is something that my audience, I hope that you guys see it, but it's not it's not going to do numbers for me like Gladiator does, right? Or like more importantly, like Venom, right? But you guys know my heart is so in this, and I, as a future indie filmmaker myself, and as star of indie movies, I just am so desperate for people to go see this because this is the kind of movie that we want being made, and this is the kind of movie we continue to ask for it, and this is the kind of movie that doesn't end up performing because people don't know about it. And I really think and hope that I can change that. And I know I did for Peanut Butter Falcon. Like, I'm not saying I single-handedly by any means got Peanut Butter Falcon on people's radar, but I know thousands and thousands of people watch Peanut Butter Falcon because of me, because I got them over to Collider. Nobody had ever heard of it before. We were talking, every person I would talk to about it said they had never heard of the movie. I had them here, Collider, Tomorrow Show, and everybody said that they had never heard of the movie and that they were going to watch it after how much I raved about it. And that's how I feel about Los Freakies. But in a different kind of way. So Los Freakies, here are the things to know about it. Number one, the people behind Peanut Butter Falcon directed and wrote this. That's Michael Schwartz and Tyler Nelson. They're amazing, unbelievable duo. Number two, Audrey Arjona stars in this, and she is a true star. Number three, this is produced by Lord and Miller. So Lord and Miller believe in this. And it still is not a studio movie because that's how unwilling studios are to take risks on this kind of a project. Because it is a foreign language film. It is in Spanish. The story takes place in Cuba. They shot it in the Dominican Republic. And every other actor in the movie that is not Audrey Arjona is a Cuban actor. And the star of the movie is actually from Cuba, and they needed to, and apparently Tyler and Michael cast this star over WhatsApp. It was really important to the filmmakers to bring in actors from Cuba, which is very difficult because if you don't know anything about Cuba, it's extremely challenging to leave the country. It's very challenging to re-enter the country. And they have a very different government and very different lifestyle than we do. So when the star of this movie got to the DR, and when the star of the movie came also, I believe it was to Miami first, one of the festivals. It's the first time he's ever been to a movie theater in his life. First time he's ever seen a grocery store. First time he's ever experienced eating popcorn watching a movie. Certainly first time he's ever seen himself on the big screen. Okay, so that's a little bit about the behind the scenes and the people behind this that really deserve your attention. The actual plot of the movie is based on real life events. In 1990s Cuba, what happened was the living conditions were so challenging at the time, and there were so many people that were poor, orphans, struggling, suffering, starving. So when the AIDS epidemic broke out, what Fidel did was he had these sanctuaries for people who tested HIV positive, who were HIV positive, and he had them secluded from the rest of society in these sanctuaries. When you were in these sanctuaries, you were guaranteed certain things. You were given food and shelter, which were not basic rights in the rest of the country. And so this is the real story about these group of kids, um, teenagers and early adults who injected themselves in the 90s with HIV in the hopes that they could go to these sanctuaries and live a better life. And this is a real story. This is really something that happened, because that is what happens when you are starving, uneducated on a subject matter, don't know the repercussions of what you're doing, and desperate because the living conditions that you're in are so horrible that you're willing to try anything else. The movie is unbelievable, so incredibly heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. Tyler and Michael could not have done a better job. There was moments that I couldn't watch because it was so moving and upsetting. But there were moments that I could not look away. I took my friend Ashley Daniels to the screening with me. She had the same experience I did. You can just tell how a screening is going. There's not one person in there that was not so moved. There's also nobody who seemed to be, other than people who knew this movie, people were not familiar with this story. And there's a lot of different themes in here, of what are our basic needs. There's, of course, LGBTQ storylines, as this is a movie that is dealing with HIV in the 90s, and misconceptions, and I don't know what more you could want from a movie. And one of the most heartbreaking things was that Andy Garcia, who is Cuban, said to us, I believe he's Cuban, he said to us, this still happens in Cuba today. And that's why this needs to get out there, because this still happens in Cuba. And I think by this, he means different iterations of this, where there's misinformation and desperation, and people do things to try to improve their life circumstances because they are at their wits' end and they don't know what else to do or where else to turn. So it is a movie that is supposed to be coming. I know it's coming to Los Angeles and New York, December 20th, I believe. And I think that, I don't know that they have a full plan yet. I've got to kind of talk to them and see what their full plan is yet, but it's being independently released. So that's really difficult. We know from what I did with Always Lola, what's happening with Crust, independent releasing means word of mouth is essential. It is so essential because we need people talking about this movie so that, and by we, again, I have no stake in the game, but I want people to see this because of the story, because of the beautiful performances, and because of what they did to make this. I mean, just incredible. So I can't rep Los Freakies enough. You guys will hear me talk about it until I'm blue in the face. I think I'm going to try to throw a press screening for them, because at the screening, I said, I got to tell you guys, I looked around and there's not one press member here. Because I know, because I go to the press screenings and I didn't recognize a single person there. And they're like, we know, we couldn't get anybody. And I'm like, what? What? How could you guys not? How could this, if anybody takes the time to know this story, how could, and I understand it's got subtitles, which is difficult for people, including myself, but it's really not in this movie. It's really not. And it is, yeah, it was so good. It's not, there are a lot of moments of levity and fun. The whole thing isn't just darker, darker, darker. There's some real joy and beauty in it. And it really makes you just want to live life every day, every second that you do have. But of course, it's not the easiest watch. Yeah, and they were talking afterwards also in the Q&A. So they brought in the main actor from Cuba, another one of the main actors who's from Cuba but lives now in Miami, um, Adria. I've always said Adria Arjona, but I think it's Adria, they said. Um, and then Chris and Lord and Miller were both there. Uh, and then Tyler and Michael and Andy Garcia. So that's who was doing the Q&A. And yeah, I want to get this, help this movie get seen. So thank you guys for listening to my pitch on it. Cool that Sam is saying she'll see it when it's in New York. Now it's on Mike's radar. JMB said, holy crap. I know. And it's just so crazy, like that these kind of movies, you could be produced by Lord and Miller. You could have a huge star at the helm of your movie. You could come off the hit Peanut Butter Falcon, and still the studios are like, sorry, we don't, sorry, just don't know what to do with you. Yeah. One of my favorite movies of last year, I watched for Real Rejects, was called Society of the Snow. I thought that movie was so unbelievable, just incredible. Uh, and this movie kind of felt like that to me. It had a similar watching experience. Okay. What is going on with you guys? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Have you seen anything recently that you loved? Again, I'll be watching Penguin tonight. I haven't seen it yet. I've been watching a lot of stuff though. In the Streamlabs, we have Eric with CK. He says, hola, Eric with CK here. Just dropping in to show support and send positive vibes. Be well, amiga. Oh, and yes, do watch Employee of the Month 2004 on Peacock, not the one with Dana Cook. You mean Dane Cook. LOL. I'm dying on the horse. Don't watch with Grammy. LOL. Why, is it a horror movie? What do you mean you're dying on that horse? Is that like dying on that hill? Ash in the Streamlabs, a new guy, says scams are improving as fast as technology. There's a streamer who fell for one of the USPS text scams because he was dealing with a real USPS shipping issue at the same time. I know that happens to me sometimes where I have to like double, triple check and just scroll up in the text to see where it's coming from. So frustrating. Imagine that's what you do with your powers. You just become evil and a scam artist. Like, work hard at something else. Make money legitimately. Stop scamming people. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, and thank you, Steve. Los Freakies is going to be released in the U.S. on Christmas Day in select markets. I saw that, the screening. So hopefully it's coming near you. If it is, get your booty to the theater. Go check it out. It is mwah, 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 mwah. And I really don't know anybody who's talking about it right now. So texted Christian about it. I'm going to try to see what I can do to get him to be able to see this and talk about it. I texted like 50 of my friends. It's difficult to get people out, but I think that if I did an LA press screening, maybe it could help. Then my friends were like, Rox, why do you try to do everything for everybody? And I was like, I just feel like this story, people don't talk about what's going on in Cuba. Like most people don't know anything about the Cuban government or Cuban lifestyle. And this story is just so unbelievable. Isn't this what art is supposed to be for? To share and to feel and to learn and to know and to relate and to change our perspective on the world and ourselves. And yeah, all that. Y'all know when I get passionate, I get passionate. New guy in the Streamlabs says the reason I shared that was that you can be as tech savvy as they come. People think all the time I'd never fall for one, but like right place, right time, anybody can get got. They took all her Bitcoin, which was about $19,000. She's gonna be able to get it back. $19,000. Damn. That's crazy. Oh, good. Steve just watched the Los Freakies trailer. This looks amazing. It is amazing. Oh, one of the things I was going to say is they told us afterwards that one of the things they wanted to try to do was shoot it so it almost looks like a documentary, which I really think that it did. It's like very raw and lived in. And Tyler and Michael talk about how really what they like to do is make a dance floor and just tell everybody, now you dance and we'll just move around you. The guy who shot this movie, they found because they watched him do something where he was shooting a scene out of a moving truck. Tyler and Michael are very, what do I want to call it? They like to go rogue, I feel. They're very like passionate, run and gun. And he had never shot a movie before. And they're like, that's our guy. And they told a story last night. They pitched it to Lord and Miller and they were like, he's never shot a movie. Why do you want him? And they were like, he's the guy. And they were like, okay. And he was so the guy. It looked amazing. 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 Okay. I spent a lot of time on my movie and my deck this week. Going through this process myself. I hope that somebody has my back one day as hard as I have theirs about trying to get press on this movie, although I have me. It is one of the good parts about becoming more of a filmmaker and working on this next chapter of my life where I'm making movies. That press is something I know how to get. So hopefully that is valuable at some point. Y'all will watch my movie, right? Right? Ash says she's rich enough that she was willing to just accept the loss. Oh my God. Shocked on stream about being too embarrassed to report it because how obvious she thinks the scam was in retrospect, but the community convinced her to, and she got back at least some. Oh my God. Imagine being rich enough that you were willing to lose $19,000. That would be crazy. Oh my God. I wish. If somebody gave me $19,000, I think I would have a heart attack. They would have an actual heart attack. Thank you for your $19,000. I can live the rest of my life off of this. Okay, so what else can I tell you guys? Today I went to a baby shower for my friend Yaz. So cute. She looked like a little mermaid. And that was fun. Steph was there. Friends of the show, Just Lucero, Hey Jay. They were there. It was a beautiful day. I also went to Grammy and Papa's today. I had to get a lot of stuff done there. Got to deal with some bank stuff for her tomorrow. Tomorrow's also Veterans Day. So before I go to Real Rejects, because I'm doing 2 shoots tomorrow, one with Tara, one with Aaron, which is the first time Aaron and I have shot together again since the car situation. We've seen each other a million times. And again, Aaron and I were texting today. Aaron and I are close, but I'm excited for that to come out so that people can put to bed whatever kind of beef that they've made up between us. But yeah, tomorrow I'm shooting with Tara and then I'm with Aaron. And but I'm going to stop by and celebrate veterans. Well, celebrate's a weird word, but yeah, celebrate Veterans Day with Puppo. He deserves it. And yeah, I'm thinking about something I can try to bring him to celebrate. The options are limited these days, and I've gotten him every book and every magazine on the war, which is what he loves. But yeah, that today was the baby shower and saw Grammy and Puppo, and then Steph and I went to dinner tonight because we're working on a script and we needed to meet quickly. So we did like 90 minutes and she came ready. Girl was prepared. Girl was like, here's what we have to do next. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I am dead right now. My mind is just in a million other directions. I actually kind of I didn't Irish goodbye to the baby shower. I said bye to everybody, but usually I stay a long time and I linger. And all of a sudden I kind of hit a wall today when I was there. And I was worried about my car getting a ticket, and it had been 2 hours and it wasn't a meter, but it was 2-hour parking. And I was like, I definitely can't get a ticket right now. And I just felt very overwhelmed. There was a lot of people there and a lot of them were my friends, but some that I didn't know. And I was doing a lot of hugging and I was like, bye everyone. I just kind of left. My friends were like, okay, bye. And they were like, we're leaving in a few minutes. You want to walk out with us? And I was like, no, I'm good. Bye. You can just feel your heart start to pound and you're like, I think if I stay somewhere longer, I'm going to have an anxiety attack. So I know my body and was like, goodbye, 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 goodbye. I sat in the car and I was like, ah. And I was like, okay, I'm good to meet up with Steph whenever she's done. So I texted her. I was like, whenever you leave the party, let me know and I'll come pick you up and we can go work. And that. So yeah. Been a lot. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Okay, what do we have going on this week? A lot of good things. Okay, tomorrow, Veterans Day, stopping by Grammy Papa's, filming with Tara, then filming with Aaron. Tuesday, doing Christian show in the morning, then stopping by Grammy Papa, then filming something with Greg for Real Rejects, then going to a screening of a movie from the same people who are producing my movie. And it's like a movie and notes session, which I was grateful for because they obviously trust my opinion enough that they want my notes on a draft of their movie. Then on Wednesday, getting the grandparents vaxxed, doing therapy and World Girls. Then on Thursday, we've got Real Rejects. Well, first Grammy and Puppo. Then we've got Real Rejects. And then I think I have something at night, but I'm not sure what yet. And then Friday, we've got, is Friday DJ show? I think I've got DJ show on Friday. I don't remember fully, but I think I have DJ show. And then writing with staff meeting. And then we got the weekend in which I am working. Hopefully a little bit of fun too. Well, work is fun for me. And then I only have Monday where I'm doing Real Rejects all day, and Tuesday where I am doing Christian show and then going to get my hair done. Because on Wednesday, your girl is going back to Boston to prep for the baby shower, which has been a whole nother full-time job. My sister and I are planning baby shower for my sister-in-law. We are so excited. We put together a full pitch deck. We are ordering the things. We are doing all the stuff. We've got games. We got fun. We got arts and crafts, stations, all this stuff. 40 people be coming. Tables and chairs and everything. We are killing it. We met with her mom this morning to pitch her our pitch deck because she wants to be involved with all the stuff. And she was like, oh, this is all amazing. And we were so happy because we've been working so hard on it. And it's going to be so great. We're all very excited. Sky and I are going to be little aunties. And yay. And so I'll fly back on Wednesday, which is also my mom's birthday. So I'm hoping I get home in time. I got to figure out my flight still. I'm hoping I get home in time to see my siblings for dinner. That would be nice. And then Thursday and Friday, I will be working from back home. And then Saturday is the baby shower. Sunday, let's go Patriots. It will be so great to be able to watch a game with my fam. I love watching football with my fam, even though the Patriots right now, although today, but it's not like it is usually watching Patriots. I'm just looking at the whole month right now. Monday, I've got work all day from back there. Probably going to do a show with you guys that day. Probably do a show with you guys on Thursday or Friday also. And then on Monday, I am getting dinner with my best girlfriends from high school. I'm so excited about that. On Tuesday, I'm going to do Christian show from back there. And then, or maybe I'm going to switch Christian show to Monday because Tuesday I got to go to my dentist. You guys know I go to the dentist back there. And then Wednesday, I don't know. We might do World Girls earlier that day because on the 20th and 27th, we might just have to change the schedule around a little bit. So yeah, that. And then Thursday, Thanksgiving, which I'm also in charge of this year. So that's another thing. A lot of stuff going on there. Putting together quite the menu. Got to bake that pumpkin bread with my sister that morning probably. But other than that, everything will already be done by that point. And then got to figure out my flight home, which is hella expensive. Now you guys know the plan. And that's the month of November. Things to look forward to, even if the world's on fire. So important. Something I talk with my therapist about. Have to have things on the calendar to look forward to, even when the world's on fire. This week, I was like, no matter what, beach. So on Friday, when Steph and I were working, Jess asked if she could work with us too that day, which we were happy to do because we love working with Jess. So we all went to work at the beach. Nothing better than that. We live in Los Angeles. Better make it work for something. It was 75 degrees in November, working at the beach. Love the beach. Beach, beach, let's go get away. They say what we're going to say. Okay, how are you guys doing? Streamlabs in, super chat in. Tell me how you feel. Questions, comments, concerns. Bit spots, thoughts, and twats. Shout out to Ash, to RQMDSMD, to Eric with a CK, to Mike Joyce, and to Lloyd Nance for all the Streamlabs so far. RQMDSMD said, in the early 1980s, we had a lot of Cuban nationals come into the NYS mental health system, New York State mental health system. After Castro emptied the prisons, many had AIDS and ARC, age-related complex. Interesting. Were you working in the system at the time, or that's just something that you're stating that you know from history? Thanks for sharing that. I bet you would get a lot out of the movie. Ash said, I should clarify in case you're asking questions. I'm not actually watching live, but I'll watch the VOD after and I can answer in Discord. LOL. Also, have you started Arcane? Season 2, episodes 1 through 3 dropped. It's so good. The art and the story are both perfection. Interesting about that, Ash. I was just with Steph tonight and she was like, oh my God, I'm watching Arcane. It's so good. I was like, would I like it? Should I start it? Because I didn't see season 1. And she's like, what? Yes, dog. It's so good. She's telling me the story and it's a sister story, and I love sister stuff. So I feel like I should watch this. I think she said that the first season only had 10 episodes. Maybe I should binge this ASAP. What do you guys think? Who's watching Arcane? Should I watch this? Let me tell you guys what I am watching right now. Let's open up that device of mine. Call the phone. So currently, I am watching High Potential, Somebody Somewhere, just finished Diplomat, the franchise, Superman and Lois, Shrinking, just finished English Teacher. I watched House of Menage's special. I am watching Golden Bachelorette, Abbott Elementary, Shark Tank, Press Your Luck, Penguin. I finished Agatha. It's a lot of things that I'm currently watching. Should I do Arcane? I wanted to start Disclaimer, but I put it on the other night and I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this right now. And I'm also currently watching Tulsa King, which I love, and The Old Man, but I am behind on The Old Man because a lot of it's in subtitles. So I have to make sure that I don't watch it late at night because my eyes get really sore. And I'm also watching Slow Horses, which I love. So many shows. Oh, and we know that what's it called came back tonight, Yellowstone. So obviously I got to do that. And we know Silo is coming this week. Clutch. Can't wait. I don't think it's a good time to start Arcane, but maybe in the next month. Seems like you guys think I should. So maybe I should. Also, Ash said, I just happened to join and see in chat that Grammy got scammed, but I couldn't stay to listen. Sorry for all the small donos. Hope I'm not interrupting the flow of some important combo. You are not, Ash. You should never apologize for Streamlabsing in. I'm so grateful to you. And also, that's the point of the show. Nobody's interrupting the flow. I can choose and choose not when to read what's going on in the Streamlabs. I'm just grateful for the support from all of you guys for watching, for Streamlabsing, for whatever it is. So that. Did you guys know I've been here for over an hour? Who would have guessed? Not me. Who would have guessed? I also wanted to let you guys know as an update on the, what is it called? Patches? Frownies, the frownies that I use. So I wanted to update you guys on the frownies that I use. So you guys know I've nothing against Botox. I think it's awesome if you want to get Botox and you can afford it and you do it and you do you. I'm really trying not to do anything to my face for as long as I don't want to and don't feel like it's beneficial to me. So I've never even had braces, but I never had injections of any kind or filler or whatever. It's not a brag. That's just where I'm at. If you're like me and you right now don't feel like putting that in your body right now at this time, one of the things that I did do is buy these things called brownies. So I'm trying to see if you can see. I think I have a filter on right now. Let me turn it off. Hold on. Settings, mirror, touch up my appearance. Let me take that off. Okay. I just took touch up my appearance off. I don't know if it made much of a difference, but there are these patches that I put on at night. And I'll do them on the show one time with you guys. It's not, again, they don't pay me, but there are these patches that you wet and they're like square like this, or they can be triangle. And I go like this, and I put one between my eyes, and then I go like this, and I put one here, and I go like this, and I put one here. So kind of like in this area. And they make it so that it like freezes your face at night. So you can see I have fine lines on my forehead, but I do feel like, can you see? Yeah. But I do feel like slowly but surely it is helping because I used to have a very deep 11 there and it is kind of slowly getting rid of it. So it just really like keeps you still so that even in the daytime I can feel I'm not like really using these muscles unnecessarily. So just recommending it to anybody who I also obviously have a whole skincare routine where I use a retinol every other day. I use hyaluronic acid and vitamin C every morning. I use a rose hip seed oil at night. I use a very good moisturizer. I use something on my lips as well. I use Laneige and at night, and I use Vaseline in the morning. So I do, and I exfoliate every other day as well. So I do have a skincare routine, but specifically for wrinkles, I don't find the skincare helps as much as the brownies. So if this right now looks like a little less than it used to you, then maybe it's for you. Also, it's preventative too. So they say if you start in your 20s, like the girl who owns the company's been around for over 100 years. It was started by this woman's great grandma, and the woman claims to have never gotten Botox or anything. She doesn't have one wrinkle on her face. But the one thing that I have definitely noticed about it, as much as I feel like it is helping with my fine lines, but the thing I've definitely noticed about it is I do feel like it's raised my eyebrows a little. Have you guys noticed that? Like, I feel like my eyebrows are starting to be here a little bit. And I do feel like maybe because it's like raises here a little bit because of that. I just feel like it's kind of raised my eyebrows a little bit, which I like. So anyway, that's my little beauty tip of the day in case you want to join me on the frownies journey. Significantly cheaper than Botox. Plus, you're not putting anything in your body if you're not into that. Again, if you are, which I might be one day, then good on you. Get on with your bad self. Yeah. So that. I saw somebody ask earlier, I think, about my eyeshadow, which I love this palette. I told you that my friend Jess gave it to me, and I think it's Too Faced. And it's just, I've been using a lot more matte than sparkly. And then I've been using a white eyeliner. That's just, I think, NYX. NYX, if that's how you say it. In 2 days, my movie Crust, which again, I'm not in a lot of it. I'm in very little, but I am in it, is coming out on digital. And that's exciting if you guys want to see that. And what else can I tell you guys? That's kind of the things for now. That is the stuff. So let's see if you guys have anything else to say. We can talk about whatever it is you guys want for the next little bit until we get out of here. Otherwise, I can just get out of here. Shout out again to Ash, RQMBSMD, to Eric the CK, Mike Joyce, and Lloyd Nance for the Streamlabs. And shout out to all of you guys for watching live on this Sunday night. Sorry that I hadn't been here that much. I told you guys my goal of October was to say yes to everything. I'm trying to keep it going in November. It is always my goal to be here at least once a week, just so that we have this time. I like doing the nighttime shows. I know that morning is the only way to kind of guarantee that I'm able to get it done, but it's just not my vibe. I feel like our vibe is a nighttime vibe. You correct me if I'm wrong, but the rock stars, we be nighttimers. We just be nighttimers. Um, so I feel like we got to do this nighttime thing. See you a different night. And in the meantime, again, this week, all week, I'm at Real Rejects 4 times this week. I'll be over at OSA, Christian Harloff show, World Girls on Wednesday. I'll try to show up here one more time because I was so bad the last couple weeks. And those are the things. And tomorrow on my social for my Gladiator review. All right, my loves. Yeah, I hope that you stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat and live. We don't want those perfumes. Don't trend with the Holocaust. Couldn't even get into that on tonight's show, but oh my dear God. Can't things just be as simple as stop hating one another? But it's not. Don't say horrible things about another community. And don't beat the shit out of people and throw them in rivers. Maybe let's just like also not rip down different countries' flags, but let's not bludgeon people to the point that they can't breathe. Anyway, we don't have time for that right now. Don't remember the Holocaust, just for all of the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, wherever you are on the rainbow. Man, my fucking queer friends are so scared right now, and I understand why. I love you guys. We do have another Streamlabs coming in. But just finishing out that thought, we stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Iran, Jesus Christ. Iranian women are such unbelievable badasses, dude. Just so much respect. And Glenn Caesar, we're thinking about you. Sparkles. Wouldn't it be the best news ever if Glenn Caesar just popped back into the stream? I was like, I've just been on vacation. RKMDSMD in the Streamlab says, I was working in the early 1980s. Personal note, stopped an ARC patient from bleeding out. He had cut his wrists open. I had to take AZT for 6 months. Damn. What a story. Wow. I wonder what you would think of Los Frikis. I think you would love it, but that is a crazy story. Thank you for sending bunnies. That is the Rockstar logo. We gotta bring back more bunnies. And I appreciate you guys spending the time with me. Shit is difficult right now for a lot of people, and a lot of people are really scared, and I get it. But all we can do is have life go on, be as kind as we can to one another, help each other as much as we can, help ourselves as much as we can, be the best people we know how to be, make people proud, and keep it pushing. So that's what we're going to do. All right. See you guys soon. Have a good night. Later.